Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare. This is the podcast where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. Today with me, as frequently happens in the studio, is dun dun dun, the Hotness.
I love the musical intro.
Yes,
we need to make that where we play.
We could have those long trumpets like you'd have whenever knights came into places.
I'm digging that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, except I can't play a trumpet anymore.
Yeah, and I really don't care.
Yeah, so well, hey everybody, thank you for joining us. We wanted to talk a little bit today about some of the things that we personally do as a couple, and then also just as individuals too, to help us try to stay resilient, to help us try to stay with our brains in good places and our hearts in good places. And this was really brought to our attention recently because we have been undergoing a lot of house repairs. And I don't know about you, but I hate house repairs, right? Upkeep and maintenance on a property. It's stuff that I can't do, and it's stuff I don't want to do, I don't like to do, I don't like that I have to do it, and I don't like paying for it. So basically, I hate house repairs.
And I, on the other hand,
am
an Instagram queen of watching, and I watch these people do stuff, and I'm convinced if you give me a butter knife and some duct tape, I can build anything. But it's not
but
the
you're
truth.
Convinced of that doesn't mean that that's factual.
But it's not the truth, but they make it look so easy. So I have all these big ideas, and butter knives aren't really cutting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are smart enough people that we hire professionals to do things instead of just,
instead of turning it over to me.
Yeah, or me
and some
for that
silverware.
matter. Yeah, duct tape, crazy glue, and I don't even know, a Bic lighter, and maybe we could fix something. So we had a part of a project that was going on left me and probably you too kind of frustrated a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm going to let you take the story from there after setting up that scenario that in the middle of house repairs, we get a little frustrated. And I'm sure that we are not the only people who get a little frustrated in the midst of house repairs. So why don't you pick up the story from there?
Okay. Well, the truth is, so many times we and you and everybody you come to a point where you have to advocate for yourself, right? Something's not going well, it's not going properly, it's not going what you agreed upon, and you have to stand up and say, hey, look, this isn't right, this isn't happening right, and this is what we need to happen. We need to make this right. Not only in house repairs, we have this in traveling frequently.
And we talk about advocating, right, as though health advocating, but we're also talking about just in general saying this is what I need. This is what I need.
This is what I need.
This is what I need. This is what we agreed to. This is not what is happening. And so how do we fix this situation?
Right. And we've been traveling a whole lot lately, and it happens a lot in traveling where we say, look, here's the law. You have to do this. This is what we need. I know you have that in your life too. Something's going wrong. And you have to stand up for yourself. I know that with the home repairs and that situation, again, it had happened a few times where you're very gracious, then you understand that they're having some extra stuff and some stress, so you understand again, and you understand again, and then you're like, yeah, just do this thing I need. And
2 weeks later, the work's still not done, so now you
want to pull your hair out.
You got to cause a little fuss.
So every now and then, it gets to that point where you have to, and again, I'm using the word advocate, but again, not in a health term sense. But you just have to stand up and say, hey, this is what is supposed to happen and this is what I need. I'm a firm believer that you can do that kindly and with dignity. I believe that very strong. But here's the other part of what I believe in the practice that we have. If you go around and you keep your eye on the fact of all the things you have to advocate for or stand up for yourself for, you're going to see that there are a lot of things you have to stand up for yourself for. All of a sudden, man, they are supposed to give you that 20% coupon off at Kohl's and they didn't, and they better bring it over right now and the manager better make it right. Or they better return that, that food that you ordered and it's not right, and they better bring the right one back. And before long, you get in this mindset of nobody's doing anything right. Everybody's doing anything wrong.
And I'm the victim of all these other people doing what they're doing, and it's hard on me, right?
Right. I left the store and it was 3 for 1, and I got home and I looked at my receipt and it was wrong. And all the things they're accurate, you need to correct them. You have every right to correct them, but it becomes a mentality of nobody does it right. Nobody keeps their job. All these people don't care about their job.
Can't find good help these days. Get off my yard, right? It becomes that victim mentality that
so fast. So because we have to travel a lot and we travel with a dog, we have to do certain things, just like you have certain things.
To advocate for my simple right to get on an airplane, to use the same accommodations as anybody else because I have a dog, right?
More than maybe another passenger. There's times you have to explain to somebody, I am allowed in this restaurant, more than other people at times. We have to stand up and say, hey, no, this is the law. You do have to cooperate with us, etc., etc. We can't afford a mentality of
everybody takes it
get
out
off
on
my
me.
lawn.
Right. Everybody takes it out on me. That I'm always the victim, that somebody's always trying to screw me over. We can't get that in our hearts. So you and I, for years now, we never even talked about this as a marital policy or anything, but we know that it's so easy to get in that victim mentality mindset. What do we do to stay out of that victim mentality mindset when we do have to advocate for ourselves?
We have, and it's kind of like an unwritten rule in our marriage, in our
business,
lives,
etc. Yeah,
that we have a 2 or 3 for 1 rule.
You want to explain that,
and
or you want me to?
What that means is every time we have to stand up and say, hey, this is my right, or this was done wrong, we need you to do this properly now, then we find at least 2 or 3 things that we go out of our way to unexpectedly compliment someone.
Right.
And I don't just mean say, oh, those are nice shoes. I mean a genuine, unexpected, go the extra mile compliment where we, to keep our heart straight.
Right.
And I'll give you an example because we did just have a storm here. Mm-hmm. And we have recently changed companies here to do some work, and we were having work done. So I called a company that was doing another work for us. And I called and I said, hey, this is Marveline, and here's my address, and you're doing this work, and you've been doing it for a couple months now. And I heard in the person's voice
fear,
this angst of, oh no, here it goes again. I'm about to get chewed out. And she said, yes. And I said, I just want you to know your guys are doing a great job. I just wish we had found you sooner. You're doing fantastic. And she went, really? She said, that's not the call I expected to get, because with the storm that we had just had, she said, we're behind, everything's kind of going wrong. And she got a little emotional. She said, I needed to hear this. Thank you. I really appreciate you letting me know. Which, of course, made me emotional because, that's who I am. And what it reminded me of is there's so much power in looking around for the good. When we keep an attitude that says, who can I find today to unexpectedly go the extra mile and compliment and acknowledge that they're doing a great job, that they're really, really working hard. Not just a, hey, thank you, that's great. I mean, get the manager over and tell the manager, hey, your crew here is working fantastic. They've got great attitudes and boy, are they hustling. Thank you, you've got a great culture here. Go the extra mile to give those kudos and appreciate. It keeps you from just looking for the negative, which it's so easy when you have to stand up for yourself, which we all have to do that.
And we're using the term advocate, and in some realms we could just be saying voicing a complaint, right?
We could say
that, but it's nicer to say advocate. So when we have to advocate for ourselves, when we actually have to bring it to someone's attention that the contract is not being followed, we want to balance that as quickly as we can. And I know that you immediately, after having to advocate for some contractor issues, you immediately called another service provider and out of the blue just really told them how wonderful we find their service. I've done this recently too. I had a business opportunity that was going to go through. It seemed like then it fell apart at the last minute, and I'm feeling poor, right? Scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset
which
kicks
is
in
no
for everybody,
fun.
which is no fun. And so that afternoon, I had to go to the barbershop. Had to get my beard worked on. And I just wanted to, instead of feeling poor, I wanted to feel generous. And so I gave my guy like an extra $10 on his tip or something, just because it helps keep me out of that scarcity mindset, out of that victim mentality, and into a place of appreciation and generosity. So for every one advocate we have, every time we have to advocate for ourselves or for our rights, etc., we want to balance that out with at least two really heartfelt, unexpected compliments to others. You were the one who first showed me this spiritual principle of not getting into that, and I cannot even express how much that has helped our lives over the last couple of years, to get out of rumination cycle, to get out of feeling angry over somebody did me wrong, and to start back into that appreciation, generosity cycle where we want to help other people.
Well, thank you for saying that. It almost sounds like, oh, I'm going to help somebody by giving them a compliment. The truth is, it's saving us.
It's helping us, right?
It keeps us from becoming woe is me. Woe is me, nobody respects me or takes good care of me. So if you're not a person who does that, I'm going to encourage you to try it, because as good as it may make them feel, I promise it makes you feel even better. It's not some generous thing you do to save the world. It makes you feel good, and when you start looking for things that are great in the world, your world gets so much better. It is win-win, and absolutely you must at times stand up and advocate. Do it. I ask you to try to do it respectfully. There's good ways, we know this. We can do a whole thing on conflict resolution, but come on, it's a great thing to try.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me to that, and we hope that that you, whenever you do inevitably have to advocate for yourself, that you also take the opportunity to put some goodness out there in the world. It's going to help you get over that negative feeling that you have when you have to advocate for yourself, when you have to make a complaint, and try to keep our hearts and minds in the right place. So we want to thank everybody for being with us for this episode of the Compassion and Courage podcast. Again, this is the time where we teach compassionate communication, provide perspective, and inspire resilience. Thank you all so much for being part of this community. Thank you for all your social media interaction, for your thumbs up and subscribes and sharing and all those fun social media things. And we will see you next time on the next episode of Compassion and Courage, Conversations in Healthcare.